Hey everyone, so I'm probably taller. 1 second. I love how I say 1 second. Yeah, I'm taller than this. Yeah. Hey everyone, we're going to go ahead and do a video. I cannot believe that I haven't done yet. I haven't done a top 10 books on my channel yet. And I've, so far this year, been saying a lot of new favorite. But they got to cut there. It's springtime, so you know, all the allergies. So let's go ahead and get started. You can see my bottom 5 here because I figured I needed something in the shot. But, and the birds are really loud today. So sorry about that background noise, but it's kind of nice to have some background noise. So my number 10 is from last year. I read this, I think even late last year. I think I read this in winter. It might have been the year before now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, this is called Once Upon a Wardrobe. It is a fiction book about a girl who meets C.S. Lewis, and her brother's dying, and she's asking C.S. Lewis for these stories, and it's like kind of helping her cope. It is a beautiful story, and if you love Narnia at all, this is the story for you. It's like a lot of cool background knowledge. There were a couple stories that I had heard before, but just like stories from Lewis's life, and those stories are real. So the stories, the overall story is fiction, but the stories within the story are real. So it's just a really great book, especially if you like Narnia. And even if you don't, there's a really good romance, there's really good family drama and dynamics in here, and it's just a really, really good story. I loved this book a lot. This one is one of my new 2 from this year, so just in the last 5 months, or 4.5 actually. This is Men at Arms with its crazy cover. You can see. With its crazy cover, it's the craziest heel on the back. There's the there's the switch with the gun, or wizard probably. Anyway, it is a really good story. It's a really good murder mystery, but with fantasy elements. I really enjoyed it a lot with all the different cultural things and getting to know new characters. And my favorite character is the girl here on this cover. And if you know, you know. And I don't know what else to say about it. It has a lot of stuff in it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. The reason it's so low on the list is because I'm quite new to this world. So I want there to be room if there is a Discworld that goes higher. So Discworld people, don't come at me. I know it's only number 9. But I'm pretty new still to this world. So we'll see what happens. Next we have, I'm going to be pausing a lot and cutting out because people and stuff. Next we have Half-Blood Prince from the Harry Potter series. I've read a lot. I know that J.K. Rowling's not the best author in the world. She's not the most talented. And her earlier books are not the best written, but by the time she got here to book 7, she was writing a lot better, and also this book's pacing is a lot better. I'm in Order of the Phoenix right now, and the pacing is pretty terrible. But this one is like the best paced, the best mystery. It's like dark but not too dark. I just really love this book. It's such a great balanced book, and I really enjoy it. So, and the cover. Look at the cover. It's so gorgeous. So, anyway, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is my number 8. I need to keep up with which number I'm on. Alright, my second of this year, but now that I'm thinking about it, did I read this last year? Or did I read this in January? I'm gonna have to look that up. Number 7 is Death on the Nile. There are better covers than this. I really like the back. But Death on the Nile, it's Agatha Christie being the master. I'm so grateful that this was my first Agatha Christie. I'm so glad that it was. Let's see what year this was. I have little tags. 1937 was the date that this was written, or published rather. And it is just such an amazing balance, such a clever ending, such a great setting. So it's like lovers, and then like he marries someone else very randomly, and you're questioning why the whole time, and they seemed so happy before, and like all this stuff. And Poirot's character is so good in this. I really just like how in the movies they like mess his character up. And so yeah, this one is so amazing. So this is my book. Not, I think I said 7. This is 6. This is my book number 6. No, wait. 10, 9, 8, 7. 7. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm a math teacher. Anyway, really great book. I'm really happy that I'm in Agatha Christie now. Number 6 is basically just nostalgia, and I really wish I had a copy of this that's separate. Not the whole thing. It's not all of Narnia. No, I don't think that they're one book. There's an argument for Lord of the Rings being like that, but there is not an argument for the Narnia series to be one book. They are 7 books. And my favorite is Horse and His Boy. So number 6 is The Horse and His Boy. It's an amazing story. It has beautiful real world context of how God tweaks little things in your life without you noticing, and then afterwards you look back and you just marvel at how amazing God is. And it's just such a great story with cool cultures, with fun cultural clashes between 2 of the main characters. A book about pride and humility. And yeah, Horse and His Boy. I'm gonna put up a picture here of the actual like individual cover, because it's annoying that there's no cover. And goodness, that's a loud truck. Sorry about that if you can hear it. I'm always surprised at what you can and can't hear on camera. Anyway, so yeah, Narnia, but specifically Horse and His Boy. Alright, so that is my bottom 5, the stuff that you could see at the beginning, so nothing too earth-shattering there. I'm going to put them back in order so you remember where we've been. So next we get to our top 5. The top 5 is the stuff that hasn't changed much. Because I've read a lot, and it's definitely been like very close to the top 5, but the only one that like almost changed was my number 5 of the top 5. So let's go ahead and look at it. The first one takes some explaining. The Shadow Rising. Okay, so the problem with putting a book in a 14 book series onto a top 10 list is that it's like top 10 lists are meant for you to find new books to read, and this is book 4. And it's very long, but the pacing is so good. This is why it's top 5 or top 10, but also top 5. This is a 1,032 page book, and the pacing's amazing. You wouldn't think that. You would think there would be like crazy slow bits, but there really aren't. This book is so well paced. I can't believe I'm saying 1,000 page book is so well paced. But that's the beauty of it. So the confusing part here is, this is not my favorite Wheel of Time book. However, my favorite Wheel of Time book is book 12 out of 14. Or 13 out of 15, how you count it. So I didn't think that was good to put on a top 10 book list. Because you're not gonna just read 12 books just to read my top 5 or my 5th of my top 10. Shadow Rising is a little bit more attainable. The first 3 are great books that are still very wonderful. But this one is like a lot of people's favorites. So this is kind of a little bit of groupthink. But yes, Shadow Rising, it's an amazing book. It's so well written. It has amazing cultures, wonderful world, wonderful magic systems. Yes, plural. And yeah, so not my favorite Wheel of Time book, but I'm putting it on this list instead of The Gathering Storm because it's a little bit closer to the beginning. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone else, but just let me know. Okay, I'm gonna put that here so you can see where we're going. All right, next. Rilla of Ingleside. If you've never heard this title, you need to read more of the Anne of Green Gables series. This is, unfortunately, the last Anne of Green Gables book, but it is the best, and all of them are amazing. Read all of them. But this could be a standalone book, too. You don't really need to have any knowledge going in. It's cute things if you know. But really, you don't need to have read anything. This could be a standalone. This is historical fiction romance. It is amazing. The character growths in this book are crazy. It's about a girl who's the youngest of 7? Is it 7 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. 6? 6 children. And it would be terrible if I'm forgetting somebody. 6 children. She's the youngest and she's a little spoiled. But then World War I happens. All the boys go off to war and she is left at home and she has to grow up fast. So what an amazing take on historical fiction. You're not going off to war. You're not seeing the battles or anything. You are stuck at home with the girls and you have to have this like crazy suspense and dread the entire book of what's going to happen overseas. And that suspense is just what drives this book, but also the characters are so amazing. The letters from the boys, and then just how the girls' different reactions. There are some that don't mature through this tragedy and some that do, and unexpected things happen, and it's just amazing. The characters that you know and love are kind of in the background, except Susan is a main character. I would say Susan's like the second main character. But obviously Rilla's the main character, but Susan's like the second main character. And so you're not only dealing with the kids, but also the grown-ups. But they're not grown-ups. Everyone's a grown-up in this book. Well, according to the time period. She starts at like 17 and ends as like 20, I think. Something like that. It might be 15 to 19 though. Goodness. Time for a reread, right? So yes, this is my favorite of all the Anne of Green Gables series, and Anne is kind of a secondary character, but her spirit is very much in her daughter, which is very common. So yes, read this book if you have not, even if you haven't read any of the other books. Rilla of Ingleside could be a standalone. It is fantastic. I could rant about it for another like hour. I should do a dedicated video to this book. Honestly, I really should. So yes, don't get bogged down by it being number 8. Read this book. It is absolutely fantastic. I have never looked at war the same way after reading this book. It is so different from the people at home waiting and watching perspective. Oh my goodness, it's intense and beautiful. All right, my top 3 have not changed. However, they have switched orders, and that is because I've grown up a little. The last time I did anything like this, it was just kind of a side note in a video, I think, and I think I've just mentioned these 3, or it was like in a year ranking or something. It was in like a year ranking, and I happen to have reread these 3 all in one year. Which is not going to happen this year. I'm only going to reread one of these. But the order has changed, and I think it's just kind of the mood of this year and what I've been reading. But no, none of the books have changed. So you probably do know what my top 3 are. But number 3 used to be number 1. Pride and Prejudice is so amazing. There's a reason you read them in school. If you read this in school and did not like it, reread it as an adult. Because the humor in this book is so amazing. The character growth is so amazing. The romance is so amazing. Yeah, if you read this and didn't like it as a child, you should reread it. I've heard, like, older men who never thought they would read this book read it and really enjoy it. There's just something about this that touches everyone. Don't get bogged down by it being a romance. It is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so this is a must read, honestly, for anyone, including men. Such a great book. If you're not used to the language, just give it some time, you'll get used to it. Or listen to the audiobook. If you're not as good at some older, like, classics kind of language, just do the audiobook instead. The audiobook is really good, especially the one by Rosamund Pike. Rosamund Pike does all, or almost all, a lot of the Jane Austens. She's taken a pause now that she's doing the Wheel of Time audiobooks. But I really hope that she goes back and does some of the lesser known Jane Austens. But anyway, she does a really good Pride and Prejudice audiobook. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. The characters are great. The side characters are hilarious. Really good villains. Really good... I don't know if I would call it enemies to lovers, but kind of enemies to lovers trope, but like more clever than that. Like, it's not surface level. Like, there's actually reason behind changes in their lives. So I love it. I love that no one is perfect in the beginning. Like, they're subject to change. No one's perfect in the end either, but they're subject to growth, everyone in this book. So that's really, really wonderful. I really love it. Alright, so my top 2 now, I think are in the same order, they're just bumped up. Number 2 is The Two Towers, but really all of Lord of the Rings. So I said during my Narnia bit that you can't really say Narnia's one story, so I don't like that it's in the same book. Lord of the Rings is different. Lord of the Rings, the author specifically wanted it to be one novel. But at the time it was wartime and they couldn't print it that way because of paper shortages and everything. And because it would be too expensive to buy. But nowadays, you can print this in one book. I don't know why I don't have a copy of it all in one book. But you could kind of count it as either. I tend to count it as 3 just because I own these copies. But yeah, if I had to choose between the 3 Lord of the Rings, I would choose Two Towers, because a lot of things that you think of that are in Return of the King are actually in Two Towers, because the movie switched up the order, because it's chronologically more accurate. But this is beautiful. It's written so well. Some of my favorite things happen in this book. This edition is so nice too. Oh my goodness. I love this edition. It's tiny, but you know, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited to get started with this. I'm starting The Hobbit next month, so I'm very excited. But anyway, yeah, if I had to pick Two Towers, but really the number 2 spot is all 3 of them in one book. Which I'm rereading this year. I'm so excited. I think I'm gonna do it every other year. Next year I really need to get through the Silmarillion. I think I was a quarter of the way through. But yeah, I don't know what to say about Lord of the Rings. If you haven't read it, please read it. Audiobook it if it's hard. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a classic for a reason. Like, you need to read it, and even if you don't like classic fantasy, it's still amazing. Give it a chance. I think that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, this is a beautiful copy. I love the J.R.R. Tolkien. symbol. I think that's all I need to say about that. So if you do deductive reasoning, I think you know, if you know anything about my booktube channel whatsoever, I think you know what is now number one. The funny thing is, this is now number one not because of reading this book again. It's because I read Timeline and I remembered how much I loved this book. Which is so funny because they're not like in a series or anything. It's just, it reminded me how good this book was. And I'm going to reread it next year, I believe. Everything you want in a book. Suspense, danger. There's no plot armor at all. Anyone could die at any moment, even children. The characters are great. If you've watched the movie and you're like, the characters suck, they're better in the book. Obviously, they're better in the book. There's scenes that I really wish were in the movies. The movies are so fantastic, though. Or the first one is fantastic. The second one sucks. But there are scenes that I wish had been, because they're amazing. They're in other books. So they did, like, a book in one of the new ones, a scene in one of the new ones is in this book, which is cool. So it's just fantastic. The concept is amazing. He writes science in a digestible way. You don't think that because there's science in it, you'll get bogged down by that. In some of his books, you do get bogged down, but not this one. This one's fantastic. I wish I had a better cover. This one's just kind of a whatever kind of book that you get at Barnes & Noble. But I really want to buy a nice edition of this just in honor of it being my favorite book ever. So I don't know what else to say. I think you've heard me rant about Michael Crichton enough. You should read Michael Crichton. He has something for everything because he writes all different kinds of genres. This one is if you like a thriller or a mystery. Yeah, if you like a thriller, this is the one to go with. If you want historical fiction, I would go with The Great Train Robbery. If you like sci-fi, I would go with Sphere. So, yeah, this is an amazing book. You should read it. I think that's so lame for my favorite book. Yeah, it's just so special. Like, my dad got me into Michael Crichton, and it's just like a amazing family connection there. And I have family connections to my mom and everything, and my brother in this pile as well. My brothers, both of them. And so, yeah, I think that's all for today. I can't believe it took me this long to do this kind of list. It's like, this is the most basic booktube video ever. Like, everyone's done a top 10, but I haven't for some reason, so it was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you decide to pick up anything in this list. If you're gonna pick anything, my go-to would say Rilla of Ingleside. I would say please pick that up. But really, any of these are great reads. Obviously, I have sequels in here. Pick up the first one. Don't go through the middle. I don't think you could go into Half-Blood Prince. I don't think you should. Or Shadow Rising. I don't think you should start with Shadow Rising. But, yeah, these are amazing books, and I really wish more people were talking about them. I feel like because a lot of them are classics, people have just stopped talking about them. But just because they're older doesn't mean that their value has gone. So they're talking about all these new books that I haven't read, and I'm sure they're fine. But it's like, these books have been around for so long, and there's a reason. You know what I mean? So, like, Lord of the Rings since, like, World War II, and Narnia for about that time as well. I think a little younger. I can't remember which one's more old. Robert Jordan since like the 80s. So now I'm gonna embarrass myself, but obviously Pride and Prejudice is way older than that. And Ella Montgomery's pretty old too. Obviously it's about World War I, but it's really old. So yeah, y'all, like, read some older books. Stop reading all this new stuff. I mean, the new stuff is great, don't get me wrong. There are some new books that I really liked. I really liked, yeah, some newer stuff. But this stuff is the stuff that's really stood the test of time. So, I really think that you should give it a try. Even if you're unsure about the language. If you're unsure about the language, audiobook it. Like, it counts, okay? Other than that, I think we're good. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day. Bye.